The regular season is over and we are kickstarting into the European finals. We've already had one final take place. The Europa League had its final and Tottenham came out victorious, which was exciting because it's been 17 years since Tottenham has won a major trophy. So that was exciting. I was excited. I'm repping my Tottenham jersey today because we got to see them play. I feel really fortunate that on our trip over and getting to see a couple of Premier League games, we got to see Tottenham play, who ended up winning the Europa League tournament. And then we also got to see Liverpool, who won the Premier League regular season championship. Mm-hmm. So we saw some really good football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, when we went over.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're going to talk about the wrap-up of the season, some things that happened, and we are going to preview the UCL championship, which is this weekend. So I'm still figuring all this out. So you have Champions League, you have Europa League, which played their final this past week, and then you have Europa Conference League, which is the level below the Europa League, correct? And they play their final this week?
Yes.
Okay. So, and do you know what teams are in that?
It's Real Betis and Chelsea.
Real Betis and Chelsea. And so Real Betis is from Spain?
Yep.
And then Chelsea is obviously Premier League. And that game is this coming week as well. Yep. And so we'll be watching that game. But let's go ahead and preview and talk a little bit about the UCL final, which is coming up on Saturday, I believe. And so tell us who is playing in that.
So who's playing in the UCL is PSG and Inter Milan.
Okay. And so PSG is from France and Inter Milan is from Italy. And so they are the two teams that have survived this whole bracket, getting down to the finals. And so they will play the finals on Saturday. Where is that game being played?
It's being held in Munich at the Allianz Arena.
At the Allianz Arena.
It's the first stadium we talked about in this podcast.
Okay. And so who plays their regular season games there?
Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich plays there. Okay. So in Germany, at one point during the year, we had a little pie in the sky fantasy thinking if it ended up being Liverpool and Barcelona, is there some way that we could figure out how to get to Germany and get to go? But neither of our teams ended up there, and we probably couldn't have made that happen anyway.
Mine made it close. So.
Yours made it closer than mine. That is for sure. So, but that is a big game, two really good teams. What is your prediction on how you think that final is going to go?
I don't want to give predictions.
Okay, well, just tell us what you think is going to happen. You don't have to tell us who you think will win.
Well,
do you think it'll be a high-scoring game, low-scoring game? How do these two teams match up?
It'll be low-scoring because Inter Milan don't play like offensively. They're a more defensive team. They pack the box and stuff. I think it would probably end 1-0 or 2-1. I don't know who's going to win, though.
Okay. And so maybe you will give us a prediction on this. For all games, do they do a man of the match for all games? Is there always like a player of the game?
There is.
And so who do you think, could you predict that? Who do you think will be the man of the match for this game?
Well, then that would basically be predicting
I mean,
who
maybe,
wins.
but it's kind of around the way.
Man of the match is whoever wins. So.
Right, but it's the best player.
On the winning side.
So who do you think it will be?
Well, if I give it away, then I'm saying who won.
And why are you so hesitant to make a call on this one?
Because it's unpredictable. It's Inter Milan and PSG.
Okay. So how about this? Why don't you give us some candidates? Who do you think will be the players on both teams that are going to be important for them to have a chance to win?
I think Vitinha from PSG could be very important.
Vitinha?
Vitinha.
Okay.
He's in the midfield. He's Portuguese. And he's really good at controlling the tempo of the game and finding these line-splitting passes all the time. He really kind of keeps PSG together.
Okay.
He calms the game down, speeds the game up. So I think that he could be a big decider for them.
Okay.
And for the other side of Inter Milan, I think it's going to be their goalkeeper,
Okay.
Sommer.
Sommer?
Yeah, Sommer. He's
Okay.
He's a Swiss. So
okay.
I think he'll have to come out of his box sometimes to clear some one-on-ones. He'll have to make a lot of saves, and I think he could be the one that keeps Inter Milan in the game.
Okay.
It could possibly be the reason they win.
Okay.
So
Okay, that's good. So no prediction on winner, score, some idea on a couple of players that you think could be key. Anyone else that you think we ought to look out for in this game or that might be a surprise?
Dumfries from Inter.
Dumfries?
Yeah, he's a right wing back.
And where's he from?
He's from Netherlands.
The Netherlands.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for PSG, I would say Kavicha.
Kavicha?
Yeah, you know his last name. He's the complicated one.
Oh, so Kavicha.
Kvaratskhelia.
Yes. Where is he from?
Georgia.
The country.
Yeah.
Okay, and we've talked about him before. We've talked about Dumfries before as well. And so Dumfries plays for Inter, and then the guy, I can't say his name. What's his name?
You can just call him Kavicha.
Kavicha. Is Kavicha his first name?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kavicha plays for PSG. Okay. So a couple other players that we could look out for.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about wrapping up this season? Your team won their league. My team won our league.
Napoli won the Serie A.
Napoli won
on
Serie A.
the last match day.
And that was a big deal. If you've watched along with us, you know it was going back and forth between Inter Milan and Napoli.
They won by 1 point. And
they were both playing, right, at the same time, and they both won.
Yep.
And because Napoli was ahead by the 1 point, it just stayed the same. So it was exciting when we were watching.
Both
that
games
split
ended
screen.
2-0.
Yeah. So really, really close, which was very different than like Premier League. Liverpool won by a lot. Barcelona was obviously closer, but they still knew with a couple of games left that they had won.
We won our league with 2 games left.
2 games left.
That's still close.
Yeah,
so.
It's close. But I mean, coming down to the last game, and it was exciting. It was exciting for me. This is the first year that I have watched and known what is going on, had any interest in this. And it was fun for me to also watch the end of Premier League because it really showed you how the table was set coming in and then predictions on what could happen to those standings in the table depending on who won and who lost. And I think it pretty much ended up staying the same as it was when they were coming into that last match day, but it still put a lot of importance on games and it made it exciting in a way that, again, as I look for things to compare and contrast with American sports, because that's what I've grown up around. A very different feel because you are playing for, can you be in the Champions League next year? Can you be in the Europa League?
Can you win your league?
Can you win your league? There's so much going on besides just who wins the league. There's all of this other, where it's important where you end up, and then it is important even down to the bottom because those bottom teams are going to be relegated and moved down. So for me, it was really exciting. I'm really excited for next year. We started this podcast in February, I think.
Yeah.
And so next year we will be living through the whole year together. And so I'm looking forward to that. I've learned a lot. We've talked about it. We'll be continuing to talk about it. But we are looking for...
We'll talk about transfer rumors in the summer.
Okay, we'll talk about transfer rumors in the summer.
They'll be big.
We are also going to be recruiting people to come on board with us who want to try to become a soccer fan. And we're going to help them. Chase brings the experience and the knowledge, and I bring the, how do you get into this? How are you learning? What are some questions? I'm happy to ask the dumb questions on behalf of everyone out there who's trying to learn about it. And so, yes, we'll talk about transfer portal. We'll talk about historic teams. We'll do a lot of fun things this summer, and then we'll have a whole year together to live through. And I'm really looking forward to that. kind of coming back to the way that everything ends and the importance of where you finish in the table, we will have 3 teams that are being promoted in the Premier League this year coming out of the league below. And remind me what the league below Premier League is? Championship League. And so there are the 3 teams that are being promoted. We thought it would be fun tonight with Grandma's segment to have her tell you where those teams are located, give you a little bit of information about them, and that kind of sets you up for next year knowing who those 3 teams are that are being promoted. Mm-hmm. Anything else end of league that you want to talk about? Anything you want to talk about getting ready for Champions League finals?
Nope.
So next time you see us, we will know who won the Champions League, and we will talk about that. Yep. And we will talk about more of our fun stuff coming up this summer. And now we're going to kick it off to Grandma.
The 3 football clubs that are moving up to the Premier League are Leeds United Football Club, Burnley Football Club, and Sunderland Association Football Club. Leeds United Football Club is located in Leeds, West Yorkshire, England, and it is located right there. Their nickname is the Peacocks, and they were founded in 1919. They play at Elland Road, their stadium since inception. Burnley Football Club is located in Burnley, Lancashire, England, and they are located right about there. Their nickname is the Clarets. They were founded in 1882, one of the first to become professional, which put pressure on the Football Association to permit payments to players. The next one is Sunderland Association Football Club, and it is located in Sunderland, Tyne and Wear, England, and it is about right there. Their nickname is the Black Cats. They were founded in 1879, and they now play in the Stadium of Light.
See you next time. See you next time.
Goodbye.
All right.